Well, indeed, we do have a few questions here for State Police Trooper Cliff Greenfield. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Trooper Greenfield, good morning.
Good morning, Todd. It's good to talk with you again.
Well, it's good to have you on the air with us once more. There's a lot to talk about, too, with COVID-19. And I want to start by talking about scams, because those people are out there. They'll take advantage of you. Doesn't matter what's going on in the world, aren't there?
You are absolutely correct. Scams are everywhere. We all know that. We should know that now. And I want to stress to all of your listeners that they need to be savvy consumers of information every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very important, and I believe as every day passes, it becomes more important. So we can talk about census scams. We can also talk about coronavirus-related scams. I've got a lot of information for you.
All right, well, let's start with COVID-19.
Okay. So with any major event that would affect our society, there is always the likelihood that criminals will use that event to gain sympathy of victims and try and build their trust to make what may be an official program, they may turn it into something that is a scam,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to be aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of those things could include fraudulent fundraising campaigns, price gouging. I've seen that a lot in the news lately, a lot of price gouging going on. And if you would like to report that, you can contact the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office at their website, attorneygeneral.gov. I know that Pennsylvania Attorney General Josh Shapiro has teamed up with U.S. Attorney Scott Brady
Mm-hmm.
To tackle that issue. So the U.S. Attorney's Office also has information on that and is taking those reports as well.
Yeah, Mr. Brady actually is going to be here on Indiana in the Morning tomorrow.
Oh, excellent. I'll try to listen in.
Yeah, that'll be 8:10.
Okay, thank you. So some other coronavirus-related scams may be advertisements for supplies, where people just simply take your money and then they fail to deliver what they promised to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
You may see advertisements on social media or other media claiming to sell vaccines, cures, or tests for COVID-19. Some of those supposed treatments are certainly dangerous, as there's currently no known cure or vaccine for COVID-19. So we need to be aware of that. You may also see investment opportunities that promise high returns for low risk, or that claim to be a hedge against a volatile market. You may receive phishing emails that use fear of COVID-19 to get you to download malware to your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So even in this time, you have to take some steps to protect your computer from fraudulent activity.
Yeah. Don't click on the link.
Right, right.
And one of the things that we hear about now as well, and this has been out there for a long time, it's just they're using this to restart it, is the call to grandma or grandpa saying, you know, I'm in trouble, I'm in the hospital, I've got these things going on and these amazing medical bills. Granny, can't you help me?
Right, that's a very common one. We've seen that here at our Indiana barracks. The scammers will do research, and they will actually look into family history and try and figure out who your relatives may be, who your grandson or granddaughter may be, and then they'll contact you and pretend to be that person and claim to be in jail, they need bail money, etc. And it can sound very legitimate. So always, if there's any doubt in your mind, hang up and try and make contact with your relative and verify that situation.
All right, so you said that COVID-19 was one area where you're seeing an increase in scams. What was the other?
Well, with census scams.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have a document here put out by Census 2020, and we want you to be aware of fake census programs. You need to know that the real U.S. Census will never ask for these things: your Social Security number, your mother's maiden name, your bank or credit card information, donations or money, opinions on political issues or parties, or information or support on behalf of a candidate or political party. So if you're contacted by someone asking for those things, claiming to be with the census, you should know right away that's a red flag. That's not legitimate.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you're receiving mail, one way to verify that it's legitimate is to make sure the return address is from Jeffersonville, Indiana. You can also call the Census directly at 1-800-923-8282. Again, that's 1-800-923-8282 to verify any contact that you've had from someone claiming to be with the Census. Yeah. Always look for the HTTPS in your internet search bar. That S stands for secure, and there probably will be a little lock symbol next to that so that you know that's a legitimate, secure website. If you would be approached by someone at your residence coming to your door claiming to be with the Census, they may be doing that, and you can certainly look for their ID badge. They should have a photo ID that would contain a U.S. Department of Commerce watermark and an expiration date.
Okay.
You can also refer to our Commonwealth website, pa.gov/census, and there's a lot of good information on there about these scams.
Yeah. We're on the line with State Trooper Cliff Greenfield, the Public Information Officer based here in Indiana. I want to talk to you about a couple of other items as well. And included among them, there are a lot of businesses that are closed right now. There are houses of worship that aren't having regular worship services right now. And I know that state police have continued their patrols of schools and churches, and I'm sure that you've stepped it up a bit in terms of businesses as well. Just making sure everything's all right, cruising by, patrolling, and making sure that folks are not they're not acting poorly. Let's put it that way. In terms of our buildings.
We are doing exactly that. In fact, earlier this week, I just ran a quick query to see how many domestic security checks our Indiana station and other stations in the troop were conducting. And in about 25 hours, I believe it was from 1 p.m. on Monday into about 1:30 p.m. on Tuesday, we had conducted about 590 domestic security checks here in Indiana County.
Wow.
And so those are basically a trooper who's out on patrol, stopping at businesses, driving through parking lots. So we're doing that at, of course, shopping centers, schools, houses of worship, the hospital, and all critical infrastructure sites. We're trying to maintain that high visibility, one, to deter criminal activity, and two, to give some reassurance to the community that we're still here, we're still out on patrol, we're still doing our job as we always have.
I don't know that it's because I have looked out the window a lot more recently or not, but I see a lot of state police cruisers going by. That visibility is certainly, you used the word reassurance. That's really what it is, isn't it? Folks need to know that they're protected.
Right. That's been something I've been doing my best to communicate on social media and with people out in the community. They do need to know that this is a very uncertain time. It's a stressful time. It's difficult for families to, be maintained in their homes. But they do need to know that we're doing our job as we always have. If you need us, call us. We are continuing to respond to non-emergency calls just as we always have.
One of the questions that a lot of folks have had recently has had to do with the business shutdown order from Governor Wolf, and I know that state police have been charged by the governor with ensuring compliance with those laws. How do you handle that in terms of communicating with the public? Are people calling the state police barracks to report things, or just how does that whole dynamic work with the troopers?
Yes, so our guidance from our department headquarters has basically been to field calls as they come in. We are not out patrolling for non-compliant businesses. We're simply fielding the calls as they come in. And we have received some calls. I don't have the exact number. I believe our department is releasing those numbers on a daily basis now. So you can check our website, psp.pa.gov, for those releases. They're breaking it down by troop, so you would be able to see how many warnings or citations would be issued by troop. So that's basically how it works. We do not want people calling 911 to report non-compliant businesses. We would want them to call us if it's in an area where we have primary jurisdiction. Our number is 724-357-1960. If the business would be in an area where another police agency has primary jurisdiction, then you should contact that police department.
I know as well that the state police are very, very concerned for the health of the troopers themselves, the people who are out there in the field, and all kinds of preventive measures are being taken on their behalf. Have you noticed among the troopers that they're even more vigilant than they have been in the past about social distancing and touching things and just making sure that everybody is healthy?
Yeah, we're doing our best to follow the CDC guidelines, guidelines from the Department of Health. Every day when I come to work, I sanitize my work area, wipe down my desk, my keyboard, mouse, cell phones multiple times a day, keep Lysol wipes in my patrol car. So we are taking as many measures as we can, but still maintaining the same level of alertness and responsiveness too. Back to the business closure order, I want to stress that we are doing our best to educate businesses. We are doing all we can to give them an opportunity to understand the seriousness of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
We're not seeking to write citations. As you've probably seen in the news, I think we've only issued warnings so far across the state.
Yeah.
And so that's really important for businesses to know.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Okay, so there's no truth to the rumor that every day when you go in, Clifford Greenfield takes one of those rolls that say police line do not cross and ropes off his area.
No, false rumor.
Needed to make sure of that.
Yep. No, but I do my best. The other troopers I work with, we're doing our best to stay healthy, to take care of each other. I'm sure every first responder agency is doing the same.
Yeah, and one of the side effects of all of this, and it really is a serious question, is we know that when people are together for long periods of time and they're not used to that, sometimes there can be tensions that arise, and I know state police want everybody to not only be safe, but to be properly respectful of all the people around you and just get along.
Right. We need to be lifting each other up, checking on our friends and neighbors, and respecting each other always, but especially in times like this. Our community, as I've seen, needs to continue to come together and support each other in any way that we can. I've seen a lot of negativity on social media. That carries through to social media as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Very good. Hey, thanks for spending some time with us this morning. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, Todd. Thank you very much.
All right.
Go out and hope everyone gets to enjoy the sunshine today.
There you go. That's a great plan. He is State Police Trooper Clifford Greenfield. Have a great day.
You too, Todd. Thank you.
All right. There you go. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. 101.1 FM. 101.